Hello everyone. I will show something about the COVID cases in India. You can see the maximum number of COVID cases reported during this time period and minimum number of COVID cases reported during this time period for these cities and states. This data represents COVID cases in this year, not from the previous year. So this date represents the COVID cases from, say, this one April 24 to next 9 days, including these days. And the weather data I took previous 5 days, from previous 5 days to next 9 days. So weather data collected here from April 20 to April 28, and COVID cases is April 24 to next 9 days. And I wanted to show you something here. So I studied COVID cases in USA, and I found that COVID cases can replicate much faster if white bulb temperature is below 14 degrees Celsius. Now, if you take a look for this white bulb temperature and this white bulb temperature, you will see that in none of the cases white bulb temperature is not below 14 degrees Celsius. So therefore, COVID should not be an issue in India. But yeah, that sounds very funny because we know that India is suffering a lot. But I will explain what mainly can happen during this time period. So I think this is very obvious because you see the 15. These are the outdoor white bulb temperature. So definitely indoor it may raise a little bit higher. And also I wanted to mention here the relative humidity and temperature. You see the temperature is as such that people should not run AC, or also the relative humidity is also relatively higher compared to this. That means people may not the indoor may not be cooler than this. It may be slightly higher. And we know that more than 90% of the cases are because of the indoor. Most of the cases and transmission are happening because of indoor. So indoor weather condition is the vital here, but I do not have any way to figure out what the living condition in India and what exact indoor white bulb temperature is. So I have to guess based on the weather data I have from the outdoor temperature. So here you can see that this is the number of death, and this is the per 100k, and this is the cases per 100k people. And you can see the white bulb temperature is like 21, 20. These are the outdoor white bulb temperature at which virus replicated faster. So perhaps the indoor remains like less than 14 degrees Celsius during this weather condition. So now you can ask how. The white bulb temperature is measured from the relative humidity, outdoor relative humidity, and relative and outdoor temperature. But indoor, as weather is very dry, either you run AC or maybe in just simple in indoor, especially say in Delhi, you see 34%, and also in Raipur 37%. It's very dry, and outdoor is 28, 31. So these in this condition, just simply staying indoor, outdoor can remain cool, because in dry condition air becomes cold indoor because of the low moisture. If there are high moisture, then water can contain some heat, but in indoor the temperature can drop, and that can lead your indoor white bulb temperature to the virus favorable 14 degrees Celsius or less, especially if you live much more time indoor. And you can guess something here from the data. You see the number of the death is 209 here, and 279. This two represents very similar condition to me, and I believe much more people are really exposed to the virus, especially in indoor. Either they use AC or not, people are getting the virus and become sick. Actually, people are all over the getting a virus, but not everyone getting sick. So this is the outdoor wearable temperature. It is Delhi and it is Raipur, 17.42. It's not too far from the 14. And as I said, is very dry, and outdoor is hot. That means people may stay indoor much longer time, and because of this very dry, indoor becomes much cooler than the outdoor. And once it is cooler, then outdoor temperature also drops, and it can drop to 14 degrees Celsius around, and people can get sick. And you can see here, this one is from Bangalore, Karnataka. This is also high, and you see when outdoor outdoor temperature is much higher, like 26, you see the number of deaths per 100 million is much lower, 26, 25. So that means it is really difficult to like cool unless you run AC. Okay, and yeah, so this is basically in Jammu and Kashmir is different. I guess some people are getting infected due to staying indoor. Their indoor is colder, and I guess it can raise up to a little bit more, like maybe 13, 14, around that. Every home may not be same, but still some people are getting sick. But the mechanism of getting sick in Jammu and Kashmir is different from the rest of the cities here. And I wanted to notice you something here. You see the Kerala in Kozhikode, and this is the place. And you see the minimum when case reported was minimum, and when case reported was maximum. The weather condition almost very same, but still why cases are reporting much higher. You see 1300, and the death is 19. Here is minimum cases is 63 only, and 1300. So even the weather is very same, I do not know what's going on here. I would say maybe people are living Kerala this time much more indoor than the previous time. Is there any lockdown going on? I don't know, maybe, or but you can see the death rate is much smaller, 19.42. That means maybe the test is also much higher compared to the other cities in India. It looks to me like Kerala may have much higher, like good health system than rest of the India. They are more taken care of based on the knowledge we have, and probably like the lockdown and staying indoor may cause more issue, even though when it was maximum and minimum are very similar. I would suggest do not stay indoor for a long time. I hope this plot will help. I left a lot of different data here so that people can pay attention more closely. And if you're interested, please visit my other tweets and also my other videos in YouTube. Maybe that may also helpful. I just wanted to mention here that the death is reported from the cities only, except this the Hyderabad weather, and the death is reported from Telangana. Okay, thank you. I hope this will help. Please don't stay indoor too much time, especially do not run AC, and try to stay humid. Please wear mask indoor. Mask helps to keep your nasal airway hot and humid. And also if you have humidifier, use humidifier in your indoor. Do not run AC at most of the you can run AC, but for a short time, and also you need to go outside because outside is much more safer. If you can do this, the situation in India will be much more better. Thank you all.